Hi there, and welcome back to the Message Marketing Pod. I'm your host, Christopher Melotti from Melotti Media, and this is episode 128, the 10 C's of a strong brand. All right, let me start with the question. Tell me the brands you love. How great would it be if your brand was the first name that came up when your customers heard this question? Wouldn't that be perfect? I mean, what did you think of? So the question is, how? How can we be amongst the brands that our customers absolutely love? Well, it's a great question. In today's saturated market where everyone and everything is growing and evolving, the noise and clutter can be overwhelming to customers. This makes them desperate to find a brand that they can actually connect with. And when they do, they cling to these brands. I mean, think about you. What do you do? What do you love? What brands are absolutely off limits for disruption, and what brands would you never consider going away from versus what brands are you indifferent about? This is the question you need to ask, and this is the ultimate place for marketing and branding at the moment. The reality about today's marketing is two things. Number one, it's more challenging to connect with your human customers nowadays. And number two, it offers an opportunity to build a brand that will truly resonate with them, because that's what people are looking for now. Like, I think that going forward in this era, especially with AI, I feel that brands and brand movements and brand loyalty are going to be the forefront of marketing, because that's where people want to go, and that's what people want to cling to. Is they're sick of overwhelm and they want to find the brands that they can relate to and trust. So going back to the how do we build that brand loyalty? Well, strong branding has fundamental pillars, which when executed well, will take your branding game to a whole new level and allow you to connect with your audiences on a human and an emotional level. And I say that there's 10 pillars, and there's 10 of them, and I call them the 10 C's. They will allow you to build a strong brand that your customers will love and that you will be absolutely proud of. So let's talk about these very 10. So look, I'm doing it down to 10. Let's go through. So these 10 C's are competency, credibility, creativity, clarity, consistency, connectivity, community, customer centricity, consolidation, and championship. Now, you're probably thinking, and I'll go through each one, of course. You're probably thinking, I just missed that. But do I need all 10? You're probably asking. Well, yes, but it's more achievable than you think. So let's start with the why. Why do you need these 10 C's to strengthen your brand? As millions of brands surface and share content across the internet and beyond, the need for your brand to stand out remains one of your top priorities. This means that you must put extra effort into remaining attractive, relevant, and relatable to your audiences. And to do this, you need a strong brand that truly highlights the value you offer. So the key benefits of having that strong brand is that it differentiates you from competitors in an uncompromising way. So what I mean by that is, when you have a strong brand that lives in your customers' minds, it's very easy to differentiate yourself. Whereas when you are not memorable, it's easy for you to fall into the background of someone's mind and easily be interchangeable. And a second benefit is that both your team and your customers will align with a strong brand. When you establish it, and when you have a brand that has a strength to it and has a consistency to it and has a buy-in to it, then it will align, and your customers and even your internal staff will align with that. And that is something that we as businesses need to do going forward. Another benefit is strong branding also increases your perceived value. And so, there's more than just the exchange of money when it comes to products and services, and it's perceived value. And what I mean by that is it's everything. It's like reputation and status and all these kind of things. And that's what comes from a good brand. So let's talk about, here's the 10. So number one is competency. So anyone can make promises, but strong brands are those that are capable of delivering on these promises exactly how they say they will. So competency means that it's not just fluff, that your brand has a strong reputation for being competent at what they do. So if you look at some of the brands that say that some of the high-end fashion brands, right? There are some that are just perceived, and there's others that actually live up to their quality. And those ones, pardon the pun, they come out in the wash. Right? So if you want your brand to be strong, it's all about competency, which is you live up to the promise that you put forward. For example, Canva is a good one, where true to its promise, it makes it possible to design anything and create impactful designs. So that is one that it doesn't just say it does it. And at Melotti Media, I'll give you some Melotti Media examples so you actually can see, is that we take our promise to make brands relevant to customers seriously through strategic message marketing and consulting and all of these kind of things. And look at the podcast that I'm doing, right? People listen to this podcast like you are right now because they know they're going to get value. It's not like I just talk and then you go, oh, I want my time back. Is that you go, wow, Chris has a lot to share and there's a lot to do. So it's all about competency. Competency needs to be felt from the first time you see a brand up to the moment they experience your brand and beyond. All right, number 2, credibility. This is where you need to provide actual proof of competency. You can't just tell your customers you're good. You have to show them so they believe it. So it's not just about being competent. It's about, number 2, credibility about your competency. So to do this, you need to share real testimonials, real case studies, real extensive portfolios. This allows you to showcase your work and prove how competent you are. And so that's really, really important. Like for Malotti Media, we have 125-star plus reviews, and it's all about providing social proof. Like, we don't want to just be like, oh, we're amazing. We want to show people that we're amazing. So when it comes to your brand, do you have Google reviews? Do you have Clutch reviews? Do you have testimonial and videos of customers raving about you? When you do that, it shows your credibility and more people will choose you. Number 3, creativity. This is an incredibly important C in the world of AI, especially today. So a constant flow of innovation and creativity sets strong brands apart because it appeals to customers and shows you, or the customer, how far a brand is willing to strive to keep earning your attention and remain relevant. So for instance, for all the Australian listeners, is that Vegemite, one of our iconic brands, is that they did a campaign a few years ago that was like tastes like Australia. And they had all these really interesting, real patriotic statements on their marketing. Like tastes like punching a shark in the face during a surfing comp, which refers to one of those incidents that we had last year or the year before. And so, and they had other things. They were like, it tastes like certain attributes of Australia. And that's really, really creative because Australians really resonated with this. So, and at Malotti Media, we make it a point to innovate and launch new services that match the unique needs of our customers. For example, innovation consulting and seasonal advertising campaign. So just like other brands do, innovation is what we do because it's really important to make sure that we are staying ahead of the curve. So again, how does your brand show its creativity and actually implement creativity? Number 4 is clarity. Okay, so this is nothing strengthens a brand more than providing clarity. So the more concise you show your value, the easier it is for customers to connect with your brand, as clarity means there's no confusion, both internally and publicly. So if you are not super clear about your value proposition, your brand vision and mission, then how do you expect your customers to understand you? So a strong brand is super clear about what makes it different, and they articulate this through brand messaging, visuals, design, marketing, and all touch points. For example, the online job board Seek, their value proposition is clear. It's all about finding a job match in a convenient way, and that's exactly what their platform does. So this is where you are super clear. You have clarity, right? At Malotti Media, we are all about saying what exactly we do. We say we're more than wordsmiths and copywriters, we're message marketers, and we use marketing strategy to make smart brands relevant to customers. So Malotti Media helps you articulate your value to your customers, which results in a win for you, a win for them, and a win for us. Everyone's happy. So that is all about being clear. Number 5, consistency. As cliche as it sounds, consistency is one of the most important attributes to a strong brand, or of a strong brand, because consistent brands are memorable. So what I mean by that is, I always say, it might surprise you, to my clients, I always say, it might surprise you, but being bored of your brand is often a good sign. And the reason why is because when you are living and breathing your brand every single day, so a lot of the times you'll go, oh, we've said this many, many times about our brand. But when you are consistent, it means that when your customers stumble across your brand, which is rare, right? Like if you think about how much time in a day or year or a month a person has, they don't think about a mop or a psychologist or a lawyer or a sports energy drink every single minute of every single day. It's only like 0.1% of their day or month or year, right? So you need to be consistent so that when they do stumble across you, they get it, right? And then when they stumble across you many times, they build this mental picture of your brand. So a strong brand isn't built overnight, which means it takes time and consistent effort to build a brand that appeals to audiences, but it is worth that reputation because consistent brands build a consistent, clear, like the previous one, a clear, memorable idea in a customer's mind. And so, like for example, Nike, right? Nike is one of the just do it. They've been saying just do it for decades now. And the reason why is because it's a simple phrase, but people build clear attachment to a consistent brand. And so if you aren't acting consistently, that's when you are easily forgettable, right? And again, think about multimedia, right? Is you see us everywhere. We're always orange. We're always saying the same things, okay? When you look through stuff, it's always similar in the way that we promote ourselves, because I want people to remember me. So when you scroll through LinkedIn, you see orange, you see my message, it's always similar. So while I might be getting bored with my brand, right, through sheer consistency, the people that stumble across us know us well because they go, oh, I know everything about Multimedia. So how are you being consistent? And if you're not, you need to be consistent. Number 6, connectivity. Right, this is all about being proactive and creating connections where it matters, allowing different stakeholders, from customers to internal, to recognize the value of your brand and appreciate the offering in the best way possible. When a brand focuses on connectivity, it builds a strong and loyal network, which improves the longevity and strengthens its brand positioning. So, I know our Australian airline, right, which is Qantas, they have been in hot water recently, right? But before that, they have built a strong connectivity with clients through their frequent flyer program, which rewards loyal customers. So think about a local cafe. They have great connectivity. People come back and choose that cafe over others because the barista knows them. They always say hello. They know them. There's that connectivity with the local community. So that helps. For us at Multimedia, making genuine connections is one of our most top priorities. We put a lot of effort and joy into hearing oh, I know your brand. And we go to events and we attend things because it's all about connecting with our audiences. So again, how are you connecting with your audiences? And similarly, this is number 7, is community. This is beyond connectivity. This is connecting with societal objectives. So the 7C, community, is about knowing that people love brands that care and make an impact on society beyond the consumer transaction. So there's nothing more compelling than a brand that gives twice with every purchase, once the customer and once the community or environment that the customer belongs to. This is why promotions that say, proceeds go to charity, or we're going more green, or we're doing things that are sustainable, that is why those brands have so much of an impact today, is because it's so important to give back. So there's Cocoa Black's Australian Critters Collection, which promises to donate $2 from each sale of each pack towards the support and conservation of Australian wildlife. This is a feel-good campaign that makes people think this is more than buying just chocolate. It's about feeling good, and this is what happens. Feeling good about their purchase makes people feel good about the brand, and this is all about corporate social responsibility. So at Multimedia, we do this as well, right? Is that we give back. We do a lot of things for, we donate blood, and we give to the RSPCA, and we support a lot of different charities, and we do a lot of pro bono work, right? Now, a lot of people might be thinking, that doesn't seem like it would have much of an impact, but it certainly does. When you have a good corporate social responsibility program, it means that you are able to build that will and goodwill around your brand beyond the customer transaction. Number 8, we're almost there. Number 8 is, of course, the most obvious one, customer centricity or customer centric behavior. So brands are strong when they are obsessed with their customers. Now, we don't mean blindly following them, right? I don't mean but you always remember that it's always about your customer. So that is looking at their feedback and looking at the way that they want, your customers are. It's always about evolving with them. For example, IKEA knows that they are more than just a furniture company. They are all about providing immersive in-store customer experiences, which encourages people to visit. And then they looked and they went, how can we do food? And now they've even done an online app that virtually places 3D models of furniture in their own space. So it's so important that you are customer-centric. For example, at Multimedia, we've even got a website page that allows, it stops us talking about our services and says, let's start while looking at your business goal. Click your business goal beyond. We've got a page on our website that has a grid of business objectives like boost my sales, generate more leads, educate my customers. When you click on that, it takes you to the right page. So it's customer centric rather than our service centric. So this is really important. If you want to appeal to your ideal customers, you want to show that you are not just about yourself, you're about them. Number 9 is consolidated. How unified are all the touch points of your brand? This is all about a good brand has mapped out the customer experience and the operational experience of their brand and business and aligns them. So it's all about building your operations to make sure that there is a very consolidated way that you talk to and approach your customers. For example, Apple's branding is all about tying in the customer experience in a clever way. For example, Apple works tirelessly across its website, social media, events, products, press releases, and so forth to build a brand that people remember, and it's consolidated without any inconsistencies. It's all about like flawlessly being uniform. So, for example, when you think of Apple, you look through it and it's like, if you go to the website, it all emerges. As you scroll, it folds out and it's all amazing and it's all sleek. If you then go and buy the product, the box and the unpacking works exactly the same way, right? It provides that really good, what it comes down to is all of your branding efforts need to be united. Otherwise, it will be challenging for people to easily identify your brand when they encounter it. So if you look at it, is that, for example, at Melody Media, we make sure that all of our materials across all of our platforms truly reflect who we are: vibrant, energetic, and passionate about empowering brands. So it's consolidated so that you always recognize that it's part of it's, you know what it is? Deliberate, right? There's no like, oh, let's give this a wing, let's wing this, let's try. It's all about being deliberate and consolidated so that people never get a misfire from your brand. And the last but not least, number 10 is championship. What it is what does your brand stand for? This ties into having a strong vision and mission. Okay, so it's different from corporate social responsibility. What it means is like you stand for something. You know, you're about supporting lifestyles, or you're about empowering your customers or making a difference. Whatever it is, it's about like the mantra or the ethos of what your brand is about. For example, the soap brand Dove champions women's empowerment by creating campaigns that highlight that how all women are beautiful, right? And so their message is making beauty a source of confidence, not anxiety. So it's really making sure that a brand stands for something. So at Melotti Media, we're the same. We go beyond copywriting and are passionate about creating meaningful human connections that result in demand-generating content that allows our clients to connect with their human audiences. And we champion this cause, not just through words, but through the experience that our clients get whenever they work with us. And so that's what we're all about. When your brand champions a lifestyle, a cause, a feeling, or a value, that stands for something, and that creates a powerful sense of relatability. And that's it. So it's about using these 10 C's of strong branding to win your customers' hearts. With a strong brand, you can find, attract, and retain customers who will give you the results that you need. And so that's what it comes down to. So in a saturated brand market that we are facing today, it's important that you employ all those 10 C's. And you can do a checklist and see what yours does and doesn't do, and then you can work on that for the next 12 months. If you need help, always contact us at Melotti Media. We are brand specialists, and we help brands tick all of those boxes because we do it ourselves. So if you want to work with experienced brand professionals who make sure that all 10 are covered and that you have executions for all 10, contact us at Melotti Media. You can visit our website at melottimedia.com.au or email us at inquire, ENQUIRE, at melottimedia.com.au, or you can call our 1-800 number, 1-800-663-342 in Australia, and we will help make your brand relevant. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode 128 of the Message Marketing Pod, and please join me in the next one. I'm your host, Christopher Melotti. Thank you so much.